What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting life's ups and downs, and the ever evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is high functional depression and grieving, and my co host for this episode is.
Zalyia. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey.
This is an interesting topic only because we both have gone through this.
We've gone through some things. But the funny part is that's what makes it, when you look at people, you don't look like what you've been through,
Yes.
right?
So go ahead and start us off on this topic.
I think that's a great start, actually. High functional depression, at least to me, I know they probably have a dictionary word or definition for it. But to me, it's when you don't look like what you've been through.
Hmm.
And sometimes, in a depressive state, when you kind of look at that textbook image, is somebody that is sad, can't get out of bed, they can't function, they can't do this, they can't do that.
Yep.
But high functional, when you look at that basic expression by itself, it's someone who is moving and rapidly getting things done, executing things of that nature. So imagine putting them together. And someone who might be a little bit down in the dumps or might not feel at their best, but still functioning, quote unquote, societally well. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, everything you said. I mean, essentially, you being the strong person you
mm,
are and just braving the world through depression and whatever you're going through. I mean, for me, I was doing that I always do that because
mm,
I feel like you do have people on your side, but you don't want to be a burden to those around you.
ooh, that's
And
a word.
that's for me, that's always been my case. I never want to be a burden to my friends or the people around me. So I kind of take things on the chin and just like let it rock. Um, but I think that I feel like everybody should seek a therapist, of course, some way or form to find help. And a lot of people think they don't need one when
Mm.
they actually do. They need somebody to talk to, and mental health is a big thing. And
I couldn't agree more. And I think some of the things that you said on, I definitely want to retouch on is
mm,
that um, if you have friendships that you hold dear and steadfast to your heart, you naturally don't want to overcompensate or to quote unquote be a burden.
mm-hmm,
And I learned that the hard way. Like I would stick literally keep things to myself to the point where I get sick. And I had to learn, I had to talk.
mm-hmm,
And I think one of the things when I lost both my parents 6 months shy of each other in one piece. And in those times, I learned a skill that helped me with my friends and asking them a simple question of like, well, do you have the space to hold
mm-hmm,
what I want to talk about? Do you have the bandwidth to listen? Or do you have space to, hold what I got going on?
yeah,
And I'm a big person of not making decisions for other people.
yeah.
And sometimes when you just call somebody and they just start rapping and it's like, yo, you know what that is? And I'll be like, yo, you ain't even asked me. Like,
You ain't verify with me
you know,
first.
and
Like,
now
what's
now
up?
now me and my friend beefing because you done called me with some shit and I'm really not here to hear it.
Yeah,
But I think a tool that we can all use is just asking.
yeah.
Who said we can't ask our friends permission?
Mm-hmm.
Or even the latter, holding a boundary of saying, hey, I would love to talk about this, but not right now. I don't have capacity.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, even sometimes like your friends know you, so like sometimes they'll
Mm-hmm.
just allow it. They'll just allow you to vent
Yep.
because you don't vent. You don't talk to anybody that like nobody close to you really knows what's going on. They just assume that they just see that image. Oh, this person's working. This person's out. This person's out and about. This person is doing what they need to do. I haven't heard anything from them, so I'm assuming they're good. So, people don't like to probe and ask questions sometimes. Again, especially if your friends know what type of person you are, they're not going to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to wait for you to kind of say what you need to say and
But
let
I
it
think
out.
as black people, sometimes we naturally do that, and maybe there's some opportunities where we can shift the table a little bit. Because how many times, especially black men in mental health, like
Hmm.
y'all be quiet. You said it in the beginning, like
Yeah.
you just be chilling. So how would we as your friends, at least for me as a black woman, be able to show up well?
Yeah.
Like, be the support and say, what do you need, or how can that be? Because I know for me, at least some of the friends that might be a little closer to me in proximity, it's like if you're going through something, I'm gonna pull up and cook for you. I'm gonna pull up and be like, what do you need? Or let's go outside, let's go take a walk, or something of that nature. But even when you're dealing with that high functional depressive moments or moment, like, moment,
Yeah.
it's like, how can people show up for you as like a black man, or even just as a human?
Yeah. I mean, in some cases, um, it's a learning it's a learning moment for all of us when we go through specific moments in our life. Like your parents died, and then for me, my sister, my dad died,
Yeah.
and it was like, you get hit. It's like getting hit by a truck, and you're just like, all right,
How?
I need to absorb this. I need to understand it. I don't know how to deal with these emotions. I don't know how to deal with these feelings,
Mm.
and kind of push from there. And not to take away from your friendships and the people around you. You just those people. Sometimes people just like, hey, how you feeling? How you doing, bro? I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to do. Like,
Eh,
we want me to
You
listen.
know,
I just go in my cave and just figure it out. I got to figure it out myself. And you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by just disappearing, but it happens. And I mean, sometimes people got to understand. I mean, some people don't understand.
and I think that's real. I
Mm-hmm.
think one, hearing that definitely lends well, because sometimes people do need space, and you do need space to
Mm-hmm.
heal. Like, I don't know if everyone either reads the Bible in some ways, but there is a specific verse that talks about that you have to go in order to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to go inward in order to come outward. And sometimes that's a part of your healing process as you grieve. Like, I remember when, you did lose your sister, and that was something that was new for like a lot of the people around you,
Yeah.
and wasn't sure how to support, but made sure it was like, hey, we love you, Kev. Or if you needed some time and space when you popped out, I don't know a person on this planet that fuck with you heavy that ain't like, hey, welcome back. Like, pull up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, people have taken the time to understand that is what you need. And I think that kind of comes with the same tone of like, if you are going through something or you are functioning at a high capacity, that you're going to start to have different, almost like rhythms that people have to learn and understand. And even for yourself, I know for me, when I start to see certain, I wouldn't say symptoms, but maybe just like almost like classic signs,
Mm.
I'm like, I might need to let my best friend know if I go MIA for like a month,
Yeah.
don't kill me,
Yeah.
or things of that nature. But I think it's real. But one thing I would say, as I've gotten older, and sometimes, not everybody is as blessed to only deal with it at an older age.
Mm-hmm.
Grieving,
That's a whole nother chapter. It's a whole nother
boy,
thing.
it is.
And people assume that grieving, there's like, you only have one moment to grieve and that's it. Nah, you
Yeah,
could grieve for the rest of your life. it's
exactly.
it's hard. And I don't think, people don't get it. Some people get it, some people don't.
But I also think systemically, like if you call a spade,
Mm-hmm.
we are taught that death is almost a bad thing. Like, it's not told to us as life and death is one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's taught to us as something we fear. And then therefore when someone passed in that grieving method, because we didn't even get to talk about the other ways of grieving,
Mm-hmm.
but like in that capacity, you're like, oh my God, this horrible thing happened.
Yeah.
But if you start to reshape that imagery, and it's like, yo, yeah, I think the one piece of advice, if I could backtrack a little bit, it's like, one piece of advice that a stranger gave me was that the body may not be physically here, but spirit never dies.
Mm.
And that to me was one of the most profound statements that has kept me going ever since I lost both my parents.
Mm,
And that was because it was like, yo, that spirit, that same energy, like it's around me,
yeah.
you know? And when you look at it and talk to it and you're really on some like, yo, you be vibing for me. Like it may not be something I could hold, which we do grieve,
Mm-hmm.
but best believe if some shit ever happened to you, your sister held you down, your dad held you down.
Yeah.
For me, like I got into a major car accident that I should not have walked away from. But my dad told me swerve left. I heard that.
Mm.
And I'm like, yo, on some real shit, if my dad was still on this earthly plane,
Mm-hmm.
I would not have been saved. I would not.
Yeah.
But I think there's just different things of how people have those different elements.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to get to a point where that kind of looks like, but we got to teach ourselves and the people around us that, like, it's not necessarily a horrible thing, but grief looks different. And sometimes, I don't know about anybody else or if maybe you experience this too, but when you have a major loss
Mm-hmm.
of that magnitude, you change.
Yeah.
So now I'm grieving who the fuck I used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And like for me, like I won't. I just don't tolerate people in my life personally. Like if you like come at me incorrectly or something transpires, I'm like I'm okay with like letting you go out my life. I'm okay. Like I don't. The less I have to worry about you is fine,
Mm,
and that's how I feel about it. If you're not meant to be here, you're not meant to be here,
mm-hmm.
and that's God guided me towards that decision, and that's it. And just keep it moving. It took me a minute to like get back to God after my sister and my dad died, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of finally have to accept it, and then when you do accept it, it's like damn, not everybody will be here forever, and like not just as far as like death, but just leaving your life as a whole,
Right.
and you just got to accept it. You don't want to be here anymore, cool, bye. And you just kind of go with it. You can't be mad. People want you to fight for them, but then why do I have to fight for somebody that don't want to be here?
Mm,
Why,
mm.
why, why do I have to fight for somebody that wants don't want to be here? Like, I mean, yeah, that's a loss. I'm losing a person in my life that has been here, but it is what it is. Like,
So,
mm,
do you think that like, or how to have discernment for when to fight or when to let go?
yeah, I think it's all based on behaviors and it's it takes two people to fight for something, not just
Mm-hmm.
one. So if only one person is fighting to remain in the situation, in the friendship or whatever, then it doesn't make sense. If both of us are fighting to remain in our friendship, in our circle, then okay, it could work out. But if only one person, you just kind of let it go. Bye, and keep it pushing.
No, I don't blame you. I
Life is too,
think
life is too short.
too short,
Life
and
is too short.
you have that took me a while. I remember for a very long time, I used to have friendships, relationships, people around me that like sometimes would make me feel uncomfortable to be in my own truth. Like
Mm,
it was a hard pill to walk sometimes because you don't want to walk on eggshells, do this. Because some
yep.
people be, I think everyone has a good bone in their body, but just not everyone's for you. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you try to force a bone to fit in a place it's not supposed to be,
Yeah.
and sometimes it outgrows you, it shifts, and you have to be able to say, all right, bet, you good, I'm good, but we not good together.
Yeah.
And that can be in friendships, that can be in relationships. And I think because of grief, I gained a different atonement for discernment.
Mm.
Like, I'm not going to stick around anything that disrupts my peace,
You listen.
family or not,
Yeah.
family, friends,
Word.
or it's like you disrupting my peace, you gotta go.
Yeah. Like I don't. I personally, it's. Listen. You disturb my peace. Like I'm. Took me a minute to get back here.
Mm.
Like now I'm back here. Yeah. Like nah. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it
and
pushing
and
immediately.
peace is a different, like, and it's crazy because as much as we are in pain when you're grieving,
Mm-hmm.
you find a different level of peace when you find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, you can't take me from here. Like, this is a different type of peach. I didn't even go searching for it, but when it reached me, Like, yeah.
And that makes you like okay with not dealing with certain types of people, a certain
Mm-hmm.
type of situations in your life, just everything, because you understand, you value life more than anything. You value your peace more than anything. And it's like, all right, yeah, the people that I have around me are my core group of
Mm-hmm.
people, and I appreciate them for that. So anybody else that gets added afterwards or that I let go, it's just like, okay, that's fine. It is what it is.
Now, I have a question because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, even as we're talking about this, with grieving, you are literally kind of fast tracking yourself to a different type of peace because you care about it more.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same breath, usually people who are grieving have a high threshold for that high functional depression because you're moving through this depression at a rapid speed, especially because if you want to call a spade, jobs only give you a week of bereavement.
Listen, oh,
Okay?
listen, like the way that, so my sister, when my sister died, I was working at a law firm, high stress. I'm in IT support, high stress. Like I have to be available essentially 24/7, but I'm not available 24/7 because I enjoy my sleep. Y'all not calling me at 2 a.m. to do anything. Um, so they gave me 2 days. I think I had 3 days of bereavement, and during that bereavement time, they kept blowing up my phone. And within a month, I was out of there because y'all not gonna disrespect me.
Yeah.
Y'all not gonna disrespect me at all. Because I mean, I would recommend everybody look at your policies, HR policies, and stuff like that on
Hmm.
bereavement and just benefits and all that stuff. Being that mental health is a bigger thing now, they'll give you more days. They'll give you a month, if anything, paid month, just to just so you're okay. I mean, in Europe they do it, and the U.S. they don't really do it, but it just depends. Again, you got to talk to your HR to take family leave or something like that because you're covered under that. And if your job doesn't care about your mental health or how you feel going through something, fuck that place
Right.
entirely.
Absolutely. I remember um my mom had passed. My mom was more of an anticipatory grief. And when I say that, my mom was sick for a while. So it was kind of expected,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when she passed, my job at the time was like, oh, here's flowers, take some time, do this. But 6 months later, which no one was expecting, my dad passed away of COVID.
Mm.
And when I tell you not even a word, it was just like, oh, and it
Mm-hmm.
was almost like she got a lot going on. Damn, that sucks. Wow. And it's
Yeah,
just like,
it's a different feeling because
mm-hmm.
like you said, the unexpected versus the expected. I don't know. I just feel weird about that. And like my sister was unexpected. My dad was expected because we were just watching him. It was like watching him die. It was like, bro, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Nope.
Watching somebody you love just like
You're
deteriorate
right.
every day. And it's like, bro, like,
Ooh.
and it's like, it's coming. You just don't know when it's coming though. And then, like you said, like, okay, that first one happened. Oh my God, so sorry. Da da da. The second one happened, and just like, damn, shit's still going on.
Right.
Like,
And it's like, I clocked the time. Like you thought
mm,
I had this conversation with God. No,
mm,
I didn't.
mm-hmm.
And guess what? I'm feeling it all the same.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, if you happen to deal with that with a family with, different dynamics, everyone is grieving different.
yeah. Everybody grieves different.
And
Everybody
it's
grieves different.
like how do you show up? I
Yeah.
remember
Shit don't stop.
it
Shit
don't.
don't stop.
It don't. And my niece is 19, my niece is 20 now. And her grandfather was her world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my dad died April 2020. It's 24. She's now feeling that.
Yeah.
She's now having moments of like, damn, like I just got into college and I'm about to be in this, I'm about to be in that. My grandfather's not here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a different level of grief that you're now like, wow, years later, and to the point of like, How do you share with someone that you have to move forward,
Yeah.
but also still reminding them they have to carve space?
No, I agree. Like that's the thing that sucks. Like again, grief hits you in different. It figures out when it hits you.
Ooh,
Man, it's
because
like you
because
could be chilling, you could be good,
because
and all
grief
of
want to be
yeah,
your best friend, but you it's like that annoying girl that's like, hi,
yeah,
hi,
yeah,
hi. I want to say hi.
yeah,
And it's like I don't like you for
yeah,
real.
yeah. Get out my face.
Yo, literally, go home, Roger. Go
Hmm.
home.
Like I think when it hit me, which was when my sister died, I think it hit me like I want to say like 7 months later.
Mm,
I was with somebody at the time, and I called it off. Like I broke up with them. So yeah, nah, this not it, because I gotta figure out me, and
right.
you keep pressuring me. I feel like I'm being pressured by someone, and I was with my boy. We was in New York having a good time at brunch, whatever, and it was in a nice spot, and then like I just felt like off. Went to
Mm,
the bathroom, just started bawling. And then like he came in there and he's like, yeah, I know everything's going on, da da da. Because my friends was trying to just make sure I was like staying active. Because again,
right.
like after my sister died, I was like, I wasn't picking up phone calls. I wasn't doing shit. I was just sitting. I was just sitting at home playing video games, minding my business, watching Netflix. I wouldn't respond to anything. If I did respond, it's probably like a week later. But you okay? Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
living.
remember
I'm
that
chilling.
time.
I'm chilling. Cause it's like it's a new feeling. You don't know what to do.
You don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the age, it's a little different. Like my friends, I remember at the time I was dating someone. If you want to call dating, Lord God, that
If you want to call it
you
dating.
man. And but yeah, the shorty I was talking to at the time, she disappeared.
Mm,
And it wasn't in the sense of like, oh, you know, like, I'm not sure how to deal with this. It was like, yo, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, this is hard.
yeah.
Like, and sometimes you will have people that, it's a catch-22. Yes, it's a selfish move to dissipate yourself from somebody you care about, but sometimes they feel so deeply for you,
Mm,
they don't know how to be around you.
mm-hmm.
And it's like it's a word to like ask your friends like, what do you need? How can I be a support? Or at least for me, I was asking for normalization. I
Mm,
was like, please don't change.
mm,
Like I need y'all to still laugh with me. I need y'all to still joke with me. I need y'all to pull up and just sit in a room with me,
mm-hmm.
because I don't know what normal look like no more.
Yeah.
So I don't need any more changes. Please don't hold me like this porcelain doll.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a fall, I'm a fall. But if I know that there is some type of consistency or normalcy, then I know I'm gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you holding me like, oh, don't break,
Mm-hmm.
it's given like, all right, I'm gonna break.
Yeah.
But one, shout outs to your friends for staying active and present. I think that's one of the biggest things that you could do for anybody, whether you're dealing with depression, whether you're dealing with high functional depression, grief, sadness, like mental health issues, whatever it is. Seeing and having people present is a real thing. And
Yeah.
it's such, I think we sometimes take it for granted in this digital world that being present, word,
Yeah.
being present is a thing. So it's just kind of like, I feel like in this time and space, we gotta do better, like, and do better in the sense that we're still adhering to what our wants and needs are,
Mm-hmm.
but doing better in a sense where it's like, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be so wrapped up in yourselves that you don't see the people that you love might need support. My one of my best friends, Monet, she checked me so hard one year, like, and she was like, look, I'm going through something and you going through something, but we could go through it together, so don't disappear. And I was like, oh man. But it was the realest thing I could have ever got,
Yeah.
because sometimes your friend's strengths or my strengths, they help each other.
I
and
agree.
and it can even be strangers sometimes. And I think that's why people do so well in support groups, because you don't know what type of support you're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, no, I agree. I think that support groups are cool. Just just hearing from other people's perspectives and hearing from on ways to better yourself or quote unquote heal yourself. But I think that again, like I said before, time never stops. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's like you got to keep doing what you're doing, and you can't just sit in a slump and just be in your head at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good that you have your people that pop up, check on you, make sure you're good. Um, because the moment they stop checking up on you, then it's like, oh, yo, you good? Like, what's up over there? What's happening? Like, I haven't heard from you in like 2 weeks. You normally check on me, but I'm checking on you now. Like, what's going on? Check on those people. Because sometimes you'll never know what's going on.
You don't.
You never know what's going on.
And that's what that's saying, like check on the strong friend.
Yeah.
I think that strong friend be dealing with high functional depression.
Listen.
But I agree. But you know what though? I have a question of like, what if you don't got friends for real? What if you like
I mean, that's honestly, I feel like you go through something like that, you find your real friends.
mm-hmm.
Your real friends will show up, and the fake ones will leave.
Mm.
Um,
That is the
I
realest.
stand by that.
I stand by that too. Wholeheartedly, 1,010%. And not even just your real friends, the people who
The,
really are
yeah,
down
the
for
people
you.
that really care. I promise you, like I have my day ones that I grew up with. Then I have people that literally I probably met like a year or two ago that are I consider solid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are my people. Like I know I could call a couple people right now. Yo, I'm short like $100. Let me borrow something, and they got me. No questions
Yeah.
asked, and they know I'll pay them back. So it's like if you don't got people like that, you could just call on a whim. Then that's the problem. Like literally middle of the night, I would say it was like 2, 3 a.m. One of my boys, I called him crying. I was just crying. I was drunk as hell. I was crying, but drunk. I was in my feelings, and he just let me vent. I was like, all right,
Yo,
cool.
shout outs to you for having that safe space. Cause I
Listen,
don't know how many black men be able to say, yeah, I called my nigga and we were just chopping it. And I cried.
yeah,
And it's like sometimes you need that availability because who you gonna call it and just say, hey. I have one of my friends, Heather, she always says friends are lovers too, but
hmm
she means it in a platonic way
yeah,
of like sometimes your friends show you that type of love that you need, that space, that safety. That's just like, wow, wow. Like it really treats you different. And even like that safety that you got with your boy, like sometimes you need that space because whether people believe it or not, and they be like, oh, I don't cry, I don't cry.
hmm
Scientifically, sometimes you need to.
yeah. You just need to let it out.
Like, you need to. It is actually a thing that where that type of it releases something. So if you have all of that pent up, then what you doing?
Word. And I think I tell a lot of my male friends, yo, if you got some shit going on, just let me know, dog. Like, if you need somebody to chill, just to vent, you can do that here. My thing is, don't vent in front of people you don't know
Mm,
because they can use that as a weapon. Even the people closest to you can use that. Your venting to them or you
that's
sharing your feelings
discernment. Ooh,
can
child.
use that as a weapon. I've had that. I've had that done to me, and
I'm
that's why it's
sorry.
like I like you trust very few people and you don't let everybody into your circle.
Mm,
Um, But I mean, life is a risk. If you wanna, you gotta just continue
no
living
risk, no
it.
reward.
Yeah, you just gotta continue living and hoping for the best. Um, but yeah, moving forward, I think a lot of people need to. I don't think a lot of people have those circles where they can do that, where they can just feel comfortable and vent and say what they need to say and get the support that they need.
So like if like and what I'm hearing and just from you and I, like there's some core things that people should be taking out of this. And this one, take some time to get to know your friends and get to
Mm-hmm.
know your circle and allow that to be your supporting cast.
Word.
Right? Because we all know life is a movie, good, bad, or indifferent. When you
Mm-hmm.
say you outside, you outside. But is that person going to check on you if you're in the bathroom too long?
Word.
Or is that person going to be like, let me see your locations? Or is that is your homeboy gonna be like, yo, you got a shorty at home? You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the people that's gonna check, like literally check you. And it's like when I had my birthday thing here, my LB. I mean, after a certain hour, I was way too drunk. I don't remember shit. But after a certain hour, my LB was like, "Yo, you really got people that like showed out for you. Like you could tell these people love you in their space." And it's like I've never seen some stuff like that. I'm like, "Yo, I mean, I appreciate it. Like for people that showed up and showed out, and like people that didn't even show up, they said that happy birthday. They sent me
Yeah,
something. I was like, I appreciate it. Um, it's just one of those things you can't you can't call everybody a friend, and not everybody's part of your support system,
mm-hmm.
and some people just want to be nosy to know the information.
That's true. But I also, and I don't disagree. So I want to
Yeah.
make sure I say
Well,
that. But I will also say that one of the things that is difficult from time to time for me, because I know I personally enjoy like face to face interactions with my friends,
yeah,
but I have learned that with living far away,
it's hard.
that it is very hard. It
Mm-hmm.
is very hard. But time and distance doesn't place a barrier of how I feel for the people I love.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you could not see a person for years, and when you see
But
them,
yeah, it's
yo,
yeah, it
it's an
was good.
instant.
Yeah, how you
Like,
been?
how long we didn't see each other before we went to dinner at Fire and Oak? We didn't see each other in a minute. And why were we in Fire and Oak cutting up?
Yeah, it was a good time.
You know what
Listen, if I
I'm
didn't have a job, I'd have kept drinking.
But I think that those are the type of relationships and friendships that you need to cultivate. The ones that don't have the pressures, but has the
Just good vibes.
good vibes and
Yeah,
the
good vibes and
natural
good. Yeah.
expectations because of who you are.
Yep.
Like, I know I could call you up and say if I need anything, or if you in the A and you
Yeah.
need anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a given regardless. And I think that whether you are going through grief, depression, whatever those things are, those are the type of people you should have around. And I feel like even as we're talking, like that next piece is also acknowledging what you need and taking the time to see that. Sometimes some people need people around them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some people need space, and not faulting nobody for either or.
Where.
Like, no one knows how you're gonna grieve. Like, maybe, and I know that this was different for me, that for my mom, i I grieved out, like, silently but out loud.
Yeah.
But for my dad, that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't know how, because especially when the rest of the world was grieving,
Well.
it was like, yo, my dad became a statistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that sometimes you have to allow people to figure those pieces out and just support them. Again, supporting cast members. And then when you kind of going through those pieces, like, I definitely want to even kind of move it a little bit. Like we said a little bit earlier, but like, grief is not just the death of a loved one. Sometimes you are grieving self, you are
Mm-hmm.
grieving places, you are grieving people,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that shit is real. Like, grieving friends, grieving relationships, or even the transition of like who you were to who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Them pieces is real.
Yeah. No, I agree 100% on that. And I mean, grieving happens. It happens whenever it feels like happening.
Yeah,
It really happens
it's
whenever
intrusive.
it really happens whenever it feels like
It
happening.
bypassed the ring light.
Mm-hmm.
It literally be on some like, what's up?
Word. But as we come to the end of this episode, what do you want to leave people with?
Mm. If I can give any piece of advice to anybody dealing with any of the above, is know that it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really okay to ask for help. And if you don't know where to start, like, really Google, ask friends, talk about it. I know, at least for me, when I started dealing with grief, I realized that it was a very taboo topic that nobody was ready to talk about. And I had to start talking about it. So don't be afraid to talk about the things that people aren't. Because you'll be surprised how many people are going through it.
Yeah.
So even while we chose to even do this episode, is on some, we talking about some shit that people really don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about it as candidly. And I think another piece of advice that I can give anybody is just have grace with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Life is short. So don't stay in any situation, places, people, things, just for the sake of it. Really, really allow yourself to live and to live well.
Word, word. Thank you for joining me for this episode. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.